Why do I feel like I have to whisper the name of my GLP-1? Like I'm telling somebody a secret I'm not supposed to be sharing. And while there's a lot of you here in this space who are willing to shout it from the rooftops, I take Ozempic, I take Monjaro, I take Zepbound or Wegovy, and I'm not ashamed of it. I am proud. For me, it's something I'm still working through. More and more people are noticing my weight loss. Most recently, when I was dropping my daughter off at her school, one of her teachers said, "You look great. Have you lost weight?" And instead of just saying thank you, suddenly I felt like I had to explain myself. Well, I am on a GLP-1. And then came all the disclaimers. But listen, I also exercise. I tracked my calories. I ate protein. And I promise you, I really did try it before. Almost like I had to prove that I earned my weight loss. Why am I apologizing or justifying the use of my GLP-1? Zepbound has helped me to lose over 30% of my body weight. Now I just wish I didn't feel the need to apologize for it. Again, I know there are plenty of people that are shouting it from the mountaintops, but there are also a lot of people in this GLP-1 space who can relate and totally understand what I mean. And here I am, basically a new woman who's lost over 80 pounds, who has improved her health, and somehow I feel guilty explaining how I did it. Think about how backwards that is. For anyone who has known me for majority of my 39 years of life, you'll know that I have struggled with weight since I was a child. I remember my mom dressing my older sister and me alike, and my clothes having to be a size or two larger than hers. So for me, taking a GLP-1 is not about vanity or just wanting to be thinner. It's about changing my health. I had truly done it all. I had tried dieting. I had tried the whole calories in versus calories out. I had tried to increase my movement, but hunger and food noise made maintaining a caloric deficit nearly impossible. Thinking about food, thinking about the next meal, trying to resist hunger, trying to stay in a deficit over and over again. And then I took Zepbound, the food noise quieted, I was able to actually listen to my hunger cues and fuel my body when I actually needed to. And in just 6 months, I was nearly 30 pounds down. Here's the part that matters to me even more. The pain that I felt in my feet and my lower back went away. So we're talking about an improvement, not just in my body weight, but in the quality of my life day to day. And full transparency, celebrating those wins is something I struggle with because somehow society has convinced people using these medications that we're supposed to be embarrassed of the way we got there. Who said that weight loss had to hurt to count? There's this strange belief surrounding weight loss that the more you suffer, the more legitimate your success actually is. If you lost weight while being hungry all the time, here's your badge of honor. If you dragged yourself from diet to diet, congratulations. And if you had to white knuckle your way through cravings, now you really earned it. But if you took a medication that helped regulate your appetite, whoa, now you're cheating. Why? Why does suffering have to make weight loss more respectable? When it comes to obesity and weight management, there's still this moral component attached to it. People want to know, did you do it naturally? Did you exercise? What dose are you on? Are you going to take it forever? What happens when you stop taking it? But to me, it feels like underneath all those questions, what they're really asking is, did you earn it? And the need to defend ourselves, I see GLP-1 users doing this too. The minute someone says in the comments, you're taking the easy way out, I feel the need to immediately list my credentials. Listen, I strength train. I walk 10,000 steps daily. I eat protein. I track my calories. I changed my entire lifestyle, and I talk about this constantly on the channel because the medication is just one tool in a much bigger health journey. But we shouldn't have to present our resume every time somebody questions whether our weight loss counts. Because here's something I want us to think about. What about the person that takes a GLP-1 and doesn't exercise 5 days a week? Does their health improvement count less? What about someone with limited mobility? What about someone who lost 50 pounds, didn't track a single calorie, but their medication allowed them to manage their hunger? Did they cheat? No. Everyone's journey just looks different. And if that wasn't a big enough battle, now there are people who feel that if you're intentionally losing weight using a GLP-1, you're somehow rejecting larger bodies. And I don't believe those things are connected. Choosing to change my body doesn't mean I think somebody else's body needs changing. Wanting to lose weight doesn't mean you believe thinness makes you somehow morally better. Accepting myself at 265 pounds doesn't mean I'm prohibited for wanting something different. Those things can coexist. I can say I deserved love and respect then, and I deserve love and respect now. You don't have to hate the person you were to appreciate the person you're becoming. And you definitely don't have to apologize for a healthcare decision that you and your medical provider made that was appropriate for you. And let's not forget the trade-offs. GLP-1 medications are not magic. There are risks, there are side effects, and they're definitely not appropriate for everybody. And they certainly don't remove every challenge from weight loss. For many, that could be nausea, fatigue, constipation, reflux, hair loss, or something completely different. So saying that GLP-1s can be life-changing isn't the same thing as pretending that they are effortless or risk-free. It simply means that we get to acknowledge their benefits too. Because sometimes the conversation online swings so far to side effects, horror stories, and judgment that we forget what people are saying. This medication changed my life. Maybe we need to stop confessing. Why does saying I'm taking Zepbound feel different from my doctor prescribed me medication that's helping me to improve my health? Because culturally, we've loaded those words with shame. Zepbound, Ozempic, Mounjaro, Wegovy. For many, those names immediately trigger assumptions about laziness, vanity, or cheating. And maybe part of changing that stigma is refusing to participate in our own shaming. We don't owe everybody our medical history. You don't have to disclose your medication because somebody noticed your weight loss. And if you choose to tell somebody, you also don't have to whisper it. You don't have to immediately explain how much protein you eat. You also don't have to tell them how many times you failed at diets, and you definitely don't have to apologize. I want to leave you with this. Your health journey doesn't become more legitimate because it was harder, and it doesn't become less legitimate because you accepted help. Maybe your help was in the form of Zepbound. Maybe it was Wegovy. Maybe it was surgery. Maybe it was therapy. Maybe it was a dietitian, or maybe it was none of those things. There isn't a price at the end for the person who suffered the most. The goal was never to prove we could struggle hard enough. The goal was simply to get healthier and build a life that we could actually live. So if somebody asks you how you lost weight and you decide to share that information, tell them. But try not to share it as a confession, and definitely don't apologize for it. You made a decision about your body and your health, and you are allowed to be proud of what came next. I know I'm dropping this in pretty late in the video, but before I let you go, I wanted to give you my weigh-in for this week. When I first started using Zepbound, I weighed in at 265.4 pounds. Last week, I weighed in at 185, and this week, I lost just a little bit over half a pound, putting me in at 184.4 pounds, which means I've lost a total of 81 pounds so far on my journey. Leave me a comment. I want to hear, have you ever felt like you had to explain, apologize, or defend your use of a GLP-1? I know I am not the only one who has struggled with this. Double check you're subscribed to the channel. Give this video a like so it'll be suggested to others who are facing this very same struggle and stigma. And until next time, friends, let's keep losing the weight. Bye.